What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for taking the time on this beautiful game day. That's right, it's game day. Yeah, I know it's preseason, but it's still game day. So any Eagles game is going to get me excited, especially when there is competition to be had. We know that there is a lot of talent on this roster, a lot of young talent, veteran talent. There's all kinds of things going on, and we know pretty much, the starters, and I have discussed, my top 53 guys who I think are going to make the roster. Just did my updated one. So, I mean, you guys know my thoughts, but tonight, we have a lot to look for here. We still have a lot of questions to be answered on the back end. So let's get right into it, baby. We're going to be talking about the Eagles and the Dolphins. We got a little bit of pregame going on here. So any questions, any comments that you guys have, please feel free to throw my way, but I appreciate you taking the time tonight on this beautiful Saturday night. Hope your weekend is going well. But let's get this bad boy started. We got a comment here. Let's check this out. What's going on, my man Drew? It's game day, baby. Bird time. So ready to watch some birds, ready to figure out. And again, I will come out with a 53-man, my final projection on Monday. We'll talk about that. We'll see what changes, but we need to see a lot. So going to show you my top 10 from offense and defense, who to watch, what is going on. Samuel, my man, hope you are doing well. Hope you're having a great weekend. Appreciate you taking the time. Let's get ready for some birds, baby. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all of you taking the time, whether you're watching this live, maybe a little bit later, whenever it is. I appreciate you. Also appreciate you hitting the like button, subscribing, whatever you're doing. Appreciate each and every one of you. So let's get into this bad boy. And I want to talk about the top 10 players to watch on offense. And this is the final preseason game. So you're not going to see the starters. This is all about figuring out the backup. So I want to show you my top 10. But first, let's just breeze through this roster real fast to show you guys what you're looking at, whose number is what. Tonight, we want to see from Reed Sinnett and Carson Strong. I do not want to see much of Gardner Minshew at all. I want to see if the Eagles are going to keep a third quarterback. Is it going to be Reed Sinnett? Do we want to keep Carson Strong on ice and not show him to other teams? A team could still grab him. The kid's got talent, so we shall find out. But I'd love to see Sinnett Strong, so we'll find out. The running back battle you see here, going to see a lot of Boston Scott, Huntley, and Brooks. Kenny G and Sanders, we know what we've got in those guys. Wide receiver, we know what we've got in the top four. Devontae, AJ, Quez, and Zach. We've talked about that. Now, do we keep 5 or 6? So Jalen Reagor, we know the money situation there. Can we find a trade partner? Can he show up and be one of the top 5 receivers? Only time will tell, but there are some other guys on his heels. We talked about Deion Kane, Britton Covey. Then you've got guys like Greg Ward, the veteran who is dependable. Devin Allen in there who is really exciting people. So a lot of competition to be had here. And at tight end, that Grant Calcaterra finally back. This is going to be his first preseason game. Richard Rodgers, Noah Togiai looking good in his absence. So going to have to step it up tonight. But we know Goddard and Stoll, those are the top 2 guys. So we'll see what happens beyond that. Now, Mylata Johnson, love that. Going to need to see some things from LaRaven Clark. Andre Dillard may be a trade candidate. So Clark going to need to step it up. And then the guards, you've got Dickerson, Sayamalu, love that. But tonight you're going to see a lot of Opeta, Driscoll, Awasika, and Sills. I'd love to see a lot from Awasika tonight. His versatility, really like what he brings. You're not going to see Juergens or Kelsey tonight. So a lot of Jack Anderson and Cameron Tom. Can one of those guys make the team? But that is the list of offensive players. But now I would actually like to show you the top 10 guys I think that you should keep your eye on here. And you saw a lot of competition. Tried to mention it as quickly as I could there. But my top 10 guys, this is in alphabetical order. So, you're looking at Devin Allen, who I think, a lot of people loved that long bomb, but I don't think he's going to make this active roster. I'd love to see him on the practice squad unless another team takes him off of our hands, but love to see him continue to develop tonight. Kennedy Brooks really needs to step it up if he wants to try to take that job from Boston Scott. Don't think that's going to happen, but maybe he can force the Eagles to keep a 4th running back if he comes out and just plows his way through this Dolphins defense. We shall see how he does tonight. Now, Deion Kane, you guys know I've been very high on these past few weeks, and he has really been showing out. Last week, everybody else seemed to be getting on board that train because this kid really showing out. So you love to see that. Would love to see some more from him. Maybe the Eagles feel more comfortable getting rid of Jalen Reagor. They keep Deion Kane and maybe a 6th. And a guy like Britton Covey, we'll see what he can bring to the table. Would love to see something in the return game from him and as a wide receiver. So hoping for a lot of work, but hopefully Reed, Sinnett, Carson Strong, those guys can get him the ball and we can see some things. LaRaven Clark, I'd already mentioned. Same with Coyote Awasika. Would love to see if those guys could earn themselves a roster spot. I think Clark could definitely do that, but he could definitely not as well. So maybe the Eagles only keep 9. We'll see if they keep 10. We've talked about that. So definitely something to keep your eye on. Grant Calcaterra, as I had mentioned, first game tonight. So going to hopefully see something from him. Jalen Reagor getting an opportunity here to be the number 1 guy to really show out and prove that, he can be that 5th receiver. If not, maybe he's proving that he could be trade bait. So we want him to have a good game regardless. People always rooting against him. I want to see him continue to get better no matter what the outcome is. Now, Reed, Sinnett, Carson Strong, I mentioned those two. Love to see most of this game, with those guys at quarterback rather than Gardner Minshew. Maybe Gardner Minshew becomes a trade candidate, somebody we have talked about that other teams could definitely be calling. So maybe you want to show that, this dude still got talent. Whatever it is, I wouldn't put Gardner Minshew out there too much. I want to see those guys. Now, I'd mentioned Calcaterra, but maybe Togiai forces the Eagles to keep a 4th tight end. We know Tyree Jackson can be back after week 4, so I have the Eagles keeping 3, but Togiai has continued to improve, so maybe he can push out Calcaterra. I think they really like Calcaterra, though, so I don't see Grant losing his job. What I see it as is maybe Noah forcing the Eagles to keep a 4th, but we'll see. We'll see if he can really shine tonight. But those are the top 10 guys on offense. Let me know your thoughts. Who are you going to be looking for on offense? About to jump into the defense, but love to hear your thoughts. Excited myself, my man. Always excited for Eagles football. And these are the guys that are fighting for a job. They may never play in the NFL again. They may have to go to another team, whatever it may be. People always say this, that, the other thing about the vanilla offense, vanilla defense, play calling, blah, blah, whatever it is. I don't care. I love all of this. You have to understand that you take everything with a grain of salt. You understand the situation, so you're not overreacting, but you're still able to gauge what's going on in the game and hoping that these guys are showing good things rather than bad things. So very excited about this and very excited to see those 10 players on offense just talked about, and then the 10 I'm about to on defense here. Rookie wide receivers and Kennedy Brooks, Cam Jurgens, Cam Jurgens will not be playing tonight, but very excited to see the skill positions. Hopefully step it up. Sasha Ray Jones. Yes, cannot wait to see the defense here. So let's get into this. Let's take a gander at this defense quickly before I show you the top 10. Just a quick run through, just like we did with the last position here, but just looking at all the competition so you know who you're looking at. Their numbers there for you. But we know the top 3 here. Those guys are going to feast. Milton Williams, even the top 4. So beyond that, I don't really think we need to keep more than 4. But Marvin Wilson, Renell Wren have really been showing out. Even Kobe Smith with some big plays. And Marlon Tuipulotu vastly improved. So I love to see these guys, getting better. But I'm not sure that we keep 5 interior defensive linemen. I had us at 4. But going to see a lot of Tuipulotu, Wren, Wilson, and Kobe Smith tonight. So hopefully these guys can show out. At edge rusher, we know that Sweat and Graham and Barnett, probably see some Barnett. I think Teron Jackson is going to make this team, but going to see a lot of him tonight, and Matt Leo. Hopefully Matt Leo can show that he continues to improve. We know that we got him a few years ago on that international players program. So love to see him keep getting better. Big dude. Now, on to the Sam linebackers. We know Hassan Reddick, the greatest free agent addition of this year. And I really think that this dude's going to ball out. Now, beyond that, Patrick Johnson last year did pretty well filling in for Avery at times. But I think Kyron Johnson's going to beat him out. So going to be fun to continue to watch the Kyron and Patrick Johnson battle. Really looking forward to that tonight. And then when you look at the actual linebackers here, you got Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean, and TJ Edwards. I think those guys obviously are your top 3, but maybe Nakobe Dean sees some action tonight because he's a rookie. He does need to continue to develop. So he's not necessarily, ready to be the leader of this defense, but I believe he will be one day. So love the kid. But tonight, I think you see a lot of Davian Taylor, Christian Ellis, and Jacoby Stevens. I think Sean Bradley's still dealing with that illness. So unfortunate. I think Sean Bradley can definitely make this team, though, as the 4th or 5th. That special teams presence he brings that depth. But I don't know that the Eagles are ready to give up on Davian Taylor. Hoping to see a lot from him tonight. Really prove that we could maybe keep 5 linebackers here, but definitely going to be keeping my eye on that position. And then at cornerback, the top 3. But beyond that, who wants to win those depth positions? Zach McPherson is making this squad. Beyond that, I have Tay Gowan and Josh Jobe making this squad. But who wants to show out? I don't think it's McCain or Vincent. They bring that versatility. But I think the young guys have a better chance in Mario Goodrich or Josh Jobe, Tay Gowan. And then you've got a veteran in Josiah Scott who brings that versatility at nickel corner, free safety. So you really love what he's able to do, but he dealt with an injury there. So we'll see if he's able to play tonight. What's going on? Josh Blackwell is brought back. So we'll see. A lot of competition here, but I would love to see Gowan and Joe be those guys. So really hoping those guys would step it up tonight. We shall see. And then at safety, we know that Epps and Harris are the top guys, but past that, man, Kayvon Wallace, a lot of question marks there. I think he makes a team, but love to see something from him tonight. Andre Sacheret, a couple mistakes last week, but a couple really good plays. I still think this guy makes a team as a nickel corner, free safety, special teams ace. So love to see something from him tonight. Jaquiski Tart came out his first preseason action, only actually been practicing with the team for a little bit here because of personal reasons. So love to see him come out. He had the most snaps on defense. Love to see a lot of him tonight again, proving that he should make this team. And then Reed Blankenship's been looking really good. He's definitely a practice squad candidate, but someone could definitely take him off of our hands. I really like what this kid's been able to do, so can't wait to see what he can do. But that is the defense we have here, and a lot of talent there, guys. And we've talked about, this team on offense and defense, having talent on both sides of the ball. So this back end, it's going to be fun to watch the competition. And my top 10, I think, it was really hard for me to actually make a top 10 for both because there's a lot of competition here. And I left Sean Bradley off. Obviously, he's dealing with an illness. So guys we're actually going to be able to see. Reed Blankenship here, Andre Sacheret. We talked about those safeties just a second ago. Really looking forward to seeing what those guys got. Same goes for Tay Gowan and Job. Really want those guys to step it up. Jaquiski Tart and Josiah Scott you see on the other side, but we just talked about the secondary there. So I think those guys, they can definitely step it up this year. And, I think all of them could make the team. Josiah Scott, I do not have on my projected 53-man roster, but maybe if he can get back from that injury and really show out that versatility he has and brings to the table, that could really help him out. And he could make this squad because maybe you don't have to keep another corner and a safety when you got a guy that can play both. So we'll see what the Eagles decide to do here. But you talked about the linebacker and Davian Taylor. He really needs to show something tonight. Dealing with injuries last couple of years, but we know that he's a raw talent that needed, to be groomed here, needed to be developed. Let's see some of that development tonight. Now you've got Kyron Johnson and Patrick Johnson, and both of those guys, we've talked about at Sam linebacker, very important roles. And I think that Kyron Johnson wins this job, but I'm going to be watching both of those guys like hawks. So hopefully they can show out. We'll see what they're able to do tonight, but you can hear Herschel in the background. He's in the room with me. He's getting pumped up. So let's go. Then I told you he's getting pumped. Then Marlon Tuipulotu. We talked about him. I don't know that we keep 5 interior defensive linemen, but maybe we do. And if it's going to be, it's going to be him. What? You want to say something to these guys? Herschel's got a hot take. You want me? All right, apparently. All right. See, when he does this, things get out of control. I had his little bed made. Look, see, I told you. He's hiding over there. So Herschel's hot take for the day is that the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl. That's crazy, man. You're wild. He's been watching though, so I guess he's getting rowdy in here, and I love every second of it. So thank you for that hot take, Herschel. We truly appreciate every second of that. Now, you had mentioned Sacheret, Job, Gowan, Kyron. My man Night Tings has been watching. He knows. Keep your eye on all those guys. Going to be some really fun competition tonight. I can't wait to see it. And I'm going to be done in a second. Give me a second here. But I don't know who you're asking about, but most of these guys that have already made the team, they will not be playing. But the guy with the illness was Sean Bradley that I mentioned. So other than that, starters do not play in the final preseason game. Guys that have already made the team. So let's go. We've got ourselves behind enemy lines. We haven't started that yet. We will. Once the season begins, go behind enemy lines, talk about the roster, the injuries, all that great stuff. I'm not doing that for preseason football. It's preseason. So as much as I broke everything down for you this past couple weeks, I can't wait to get back into that, man. We're 2 weeks away from jumping in. We're going to be, and maybe I'll spread it out just so we have some fun and have something to do. We'll talk about the Lions. We'll talk about, what the Eagles have going on with their 53. So yes, very excited, but no. Go Birds! Fins are going down, and it's preseason football, but I always get tempted to throw money down. I'm ridiculous with that stuff. So hope nobody gets injured on your team, but go Birds. I hope we beat your ass. But have a great night. Enjoy this game. Hopefully you get some answers from your team. Like to see Raheem Mostert showing a little something, maybe get my fantasy team looking a little bit better there at running back. But Yeah, let's go Birds. You saw the top 20 guys I threw at you there, but there are definitely more, and we've talked about them over and over again. But Tuesday, 4 o'clock, we need to be down to 53, and I can't wait. So we'll watch this game. We'll try to figure out who, we think is making the team. And then next week, obviously at the beginning here, Monday, I will come out with my, final 53-man projection. Hopefully not too much changes there, but we'll hopefully get a lot from this game. And if you got anything from this show, do me a favor, hit that like button. Do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on, and we'll be talking Birds live. And now I will be back at halftime. We'll be talking about what we've seen, and then I'll be back again post-game. So not leaving that out just because it's preseason. Love to hear your guys' thoughts, give you my thoughts, what we need to see more of in the second half. Adjustments, usually we talk about that. This is preseason, so we're going to be talking about some different things, but I hope you'll join me. So I appreciate you taking the time. Let's get ready to kick some Dolphin ass. Let's go Birds. But if you guys need anything, you need a link to the site, whatever it is, reach out to me. Would love to be able to help you out, but I'm going to get rolling out here. If you did like this content, again, do me a favor. And look, totally forgot. This is the first show we are doing with over 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys helping me reach that pinnacle. And now we just keep on building. So love to see it. And I really appreciate you guys. So I just wanted to thank you. I'm glad I remembered that. I can't even remember to wear pants half the time. So dear Lord, help us all. But thank you for tuning in. I will be back at halftime. If you need me, please reach out. But I'm Jimmy Smith, and this has been on the Road to Victory's pregame show. So let's go beat some Dolphin ass. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the game. And as always, go Birds!